Fat boy feels. Fat boy feels. Fat boy feels.
Like I didn't meet the mark of black excellence. Last night I played kickball and it was actually pretty awesome and pretty fucking terrible. Why? Because, well, I've got a bruised toe and every time I would plant my foot to kick, my left foot stops, my foot moves forward and my bruised big toe literally crashes into my shoe, causing immeasurable pain milliseconds before I kick. And I couldn't push through. I couldn't be mentally tough in the moment. We wound up losing that game 7-1. It was pretty rough. And even though we were all happy and smiling inside, I felt bad. Why? Well, because I'm black. And anytime you're on an athletic pitch or field or court, you have this expectation that, you know, athletically, you're supposed to fucking perform. And while it's not said, it's implied, right? And that got me thinking about black excellence. I was in the car on my way home talking to one of my Institute brothers, and he said something I didn't expect. He talked about his experience at the event that I went to last week, and surprisingly, he felt the same. You know, we started talking about black excellence and what that means. The pressure, the expectation, the assumptions, the things that we take for granted. It's rough to be black in America, to be a black male and constantly be seen as a threat or not good enough. I mean, no one ever talks about the psychological damage and the personal pain that's caused from that. Out here, I was homeless in LA for 2.5 years, but I couldn't tell anyone. I couldn't tell my mother, I couldn't tell my sister. I certainly wouldn't tell any of my Institute brothers. Why? Because I'm supposed to be black and excellent. And you can't be black and excellent if you're homeless, sleeping out of your car and can't find a job, especially after you've left a really awesome career to come out here to be a star. And for the longest time, I didn't go back to the Institute because I thought I was alone. I thought that I was the failure. Well, it turns out there are more brothers like me. Brothers who have panic attacks from 16-hour work days with ungodly expectations. Brothers who are compared to Truman Scholars and Rhodes Scholars and athletes and senators and judges when honestly, we forget that like less than like 1% or a fraction of a percent of people ever attain those titles. And we get depressed because we commit ourselves to attaining said titles to the point where we come home and we realize the rest of our life is empty. We don't have friends, we don't have family, and all the shit that we work for, my God, it leaves us what, maybe 3 hours of us time a day if we're lucky? We don't talk about that part of it. And that fucking sucks. Because like, you're denying so much of our experience or pretending that it doesn't exist only to highlight the good, to highlight the marketable, to highlight the achievement. But like, what about us as people? More importantly, what about the people who aren't able to reach that? And if we really are supposed to be the talented 10th, which is bullshit to begin with, why aren't we helping one another more? Even within our ranks, we're not taught to support one another, to help one another in real ways. We're taught to just go be great. And it's implied that we are supposed to help one another get there. But what I'm saying is, I think we need structural programs within ourselves to actually get there. And I know that I'm talking about a vast organization with hundreds of people, and to be quite honest, I do have 5 guys within the Institute that I can be real with, but the fact that I can't be real with everyone is the problem. And I don't know if this conversation really broaches it, does it. My hope is that this will start a conversation within our organization and within other black excellent folks in entertainment, on Wall Street, everywhere. And my hope is that people who are not black within their communities will discuss what excellence means in their community. What I do know is excellent is this motherfucking workout we're about to do, because we're combining 2 of my favorite things, legs and abs. So this workout will bookend your workouts for the week. If you're gonna do traditional push-pull workouts that I've gone through, then the way it would work for the split would be legs on Monday, Tuesday chest and back, Wednesday abs cardio. Then on Thursday, you'll take it light, like walk around the block for like 45 minutes in the morning and the evening if you can, along with a little bit of foam rolling, stretching and mobility, or yoga. Then on Friday, we will go to arms and then we will close with legs and abs. So that's a wrap, and I'm super excited. It's gonna be kind of crazy, so please make sure you warm up, make sure you stretch, make sure you foam roll. I'm gonna be doing some explosive movements along with some ab stuff to really shoot that heart rate up and bring it back down. It is not a plyo workout per se, we're doing supersets, but inherently, because of the explosive nature of some of these workouts, it does have plyo elements to it. For the purpose of saving your joints, maybe only think about doing plyo once a week, at most twice a week, and then spacing it out over that 72-hour period. All right, let's get to it. Alert, alert, it's titty bounce time. If seeing man boobs flopping makes you squeamish, please avert your attention in 3, 2, 1. All right, so today we did a little more stretching than we've done before. I really want to dig into those hip flexors, dig into our hamstrings, our glutes, our quads, and our calves, and our Achilles. There we go, that's the fucking word. The reason being is today's workout is gonna be a little intense. We're gonna be introducing some plyometric movements, and for front squat, if you're like over 30, 35, and you're not competing, or you don't necessarily need back squats for a specific reason, honestly, I would suggest limiting it. You can still do it for like the prestige, but making it the linchpin of your legs program doesn't really need to happen. When we're doing front squats, we want to think about like activating our hips, getting that butt popped out a little bit. As we go down, making sure that our quads are engaged along with our hamstrings and our abs. We want to have our knees point slightly out, not going too far over your toes, but like over your toes. And then once we get down to the bottom, we want to activate the quads, pushing through, and then push those hips through again to then bring you up to start. This sounds kind of weird right now, but just watch me, all right? All right, so do you see how my voice has changed? That's because the bar is like up against my neck, and that's where it should be. See how my elbows are up? You want them almost parallel with the ground. All right, take a look. So something like this. All right, they're going too far back. Another option for you, if this is too much, you go here, cross the arms. You still want to have right there on the clavicle. All right, now thank God I'm using a lightweight, otherwise I would fucking die. All right, so let's do it. We're moving on to power clean, which is one of my favorite workouts. The reason I love this workout is you talk about an aerobic vibe and an anaerobic workout. This is it. Full body, explosive. It's something you have to be very, very careful with and very mindful of. Form is key. Start light. I'm only doing 135, which that's not light, but it's also not heavy. But for me, it's like a good place to be. I would suggest start light, start with a bar, practice on your form. When you're down, you're gonna get low. Have your knees slightly more than shoulder width apart, toes pointing slightly out. You wanna get real low. See how I'm just able to hold it? That's because I have on these bad boys. Get yourself some knee wraps if you need them. The reason why we did front squat earlier is to really get our hips and our legs warm so that we can come down here, stay here, get to the bar, hold it just outside of your legs. Now, I want you to start by activating your quads, pushing those up. And then when we get about here, you want to think about exploding through your hips with a mini jump and then landing. But as you're in the air, shooting your elbows through and coming here. I'll show you all that in a moment. All right, you ready? Pray for me. All right, that was the end of today's workout. A little tired, my legs are a little wobbly, but it's cool. Just be mindful when you're getting tired, form. Form. Whenever you feel like your form is messed up, stop, all right? Re-rack the weight, drop the weight, whatever's the safest way to dispose of the weight. You wanna make sure that we can be here for a long time, not a quick time. I don't think I said that right, but who cares? Back to Black Excellence. I don't wanna villainize my predecessor. I don't want to villainize the people who've given me opportunities to succeed and to have a platform and to have a community. What I'll say is this. It seems like because we're Black, we have to be excellent. Christian said something like along the lines of like, is it Black excellence or excellence because you're Black? And I think it's a bit of both. I think Black excellence is this idealized version of what Black folks see themselves as or see themselves aspiring to be, ultimately because the world says that because you're Black, you have to be excellent. Because we won't take your mediocre. We won't take your good. We won't take your great. No, we're only going to take the 1%, the 10% of you who are so fucking good that there's no denying you, but the other people don't get the same chance. But even then, it goes to excellence in character and how that's defined. Typically, subservience, obedience, being mindful and careful versus speaking out, saying what you want or doing what you want. Needless to say, the problem is systemic, and our predecessors are trying their best to give us the tools we need to operate in this system. The one thing I'll ask is that everyone in our community, whether it be the talented 10th or the other 90, just remember that we're all in this together. And just because we're at the top doesn't mean we don't reach down to help people who are a little bit below us. Fuck, help the people who are at our level. The time for competition is done. Life's too hard, life's too short. If we're gonna get it, let's get it together. All right, thank you so much for watching this episode. We had an amazing Fat Boy Fit. Please check us out on Thursday. We're gonna be doing Fat Boy Feast. We have a delicious recipe coming up. It's inspired by my personal hero, Chef Robert Irvine. I'm putting this out into the universe. Chef Irvine, I'm just saying one day when I get enough people, when I get enough flex, enough clout, I'm just saying, how about a little collab, you know what I'm saying? Remember, merch, 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 merch. Everybody. And remember to check us out on all your favorite social media platforms at Fat Boy Feels. Remember to like, subscribe, and share it in that order with your friends, and we'll see you again on the next one. Fat Boy Feels.